I had a really good and most amazing time yesterday, and I wanted to share with you exactly what it was that I saw. I had them on during the morning show, weekdays here on ABC News Radio, KMET 1490 AM. And I had Maria Russell of the Latina Christmas Special, which is now playing in Los Angeles at the Los Angeles Theater Company or the Latino Theater Company. I keep doing that. And it is a fantastic show. And I got to see the entire thing. And now I am honored and privileged to bring to you the cast of the Latina Christmas Special. We have Sandra Valls, Maria Russell, and Diana Yanez. Welcome to the show.
Hey there.
Woo-hoo! Good morning. Thank you, Erin. Thank you for having us.
Good morning.
Yeah.
We
Wait, one of us sounds a little hungover.
I heard that. I heard Sandra, right?
Show.
Is that Sandra?
Hi.
Sandra's like, I am not a morning person, especially on Saturday. No, but you guys had a fantastic performance last night, and you do this time and again. Now, I have to say, from seeing it for the first time, it was not quite what I thought it was going to be. It was so much better. And when I say that is, I literally thought there was going to be I knew there was going to be monologues, but I didn't know how powerful each monologue was going to be and how impactful they were going to be. I laughed. There was a moment towards the end, especially that I shed a few tears. I went home very reminiscent of this show, thinking about it all night. And I said, I've got to have you guys on to talk about this. So let's go back to the beginning. How did you all come together and create this amazing show?
Diana.
Well, this is Diana. And what happened was that, Sandra, I'm so sorry. I think you've been fighting a cold, right? You okay?
Yes, I'm okay. I just always sound like B. Arthur in the mornings.
Okay, good. Well, anyway, the way that this show came together was both Sandra and I are stand-up comics, and I had been doing my thing, and I did a one-woman show. I've always been a huge fan of one-person shows. I was very inspired by Whoopi Goldberg and Lily Tomlin and Anna Devere Smith, and I wanted to do something with multiple people telling stories. I'm a passionate storyteller, and I love hearing other people's personal stories. So when I had the idea, I thought about all my talented friends, and I thought, what would be the best combination? So I called Maria Russell, and then I called Sandra Valls, and both of them, Maria was no way, and Sandra just been through a heart fake breakup, and she was also I don't know if I have the the wherewithal to do this story, but you know what, it healed all of us, and we're all so grateful that we pursued it, because 3 years ago this was a tiny little show in a rinky-dink theater where we had to contend with what we thought were rats, probably were water leaks.
They were theater rats.
Yeah.
Yeah, we just didn't tell Maria.
Yes, they have love for the arts.
I would.
Oh.
I'm sorry, I didn't hear that. What?
Oh, no. I would die if I saw a rat.
Well, there's a cockroach situation evidently in this show as well. I'm not going to give it away, but that was hilarious, Diana, in your section. And there's so much I want to give away, but I know I don't want to, because I want the listener to go check this out. But, Maria, when you got approached with this by Sandra and Diana, what were your first thoughts?
I'm flattered, thank you, but no.
Why? Why did you say that?
Because I don't do stand-up comedy. I don't do, I do mostly, TV and film where I'm hiding behind the characters. I'm not, revealing, who I am as a person and talking to people in an audience and, just being myself. That's so scary, and to kind of go to all these different places within yourself and sharing it with the world, that freaked me out. I'm like, I can't do that. Are you kidding me? And then Diana Yanez and I had a mutual coach, and she spoke with me, and the coach goes, "Oh, no, you're doing it." And I was like, "Oh, my God, how am I going to do this? How the heck
and then
am I going to do this?"
Maria was one of the first ones to have, like, her 5 pages written out, all typed out.
Because I'm like, crap, if I'm going to do this, I'm going to do this, right?
And she's like, you haven't written yours? I'm on my 4th draft. I'm like, okay.
It's true.
Yeah, and you know, and it was actually when you say you're not a comedian, yet it was very funny. I found myself laughing a lot, and you shared some really intimate moments. And Sandra,
Hi.
Kelly and I actually met you back at La Femme when you hosted it, so I knew you were going to be funny in this, but I didn't realize I was going to cry at your whole thing. I mean, it's a very touching thing, but when this came to you, what were your thoughts?
Well, at first I was flattered, of course, because Diana asked me to be a part of this beautiful storytelling, and I love storytelling. I mean, that's what stand-up comics do. I love that. But like Diana said, I had just been through this breakup, and it's the holidays, and I'm just like, listen, I can't be writing anything right now. I'm just dumped. What the hell?
When dumped, go write a play, right?
Yeah.
I was like, I can write about being dumped. She's like, no, it's Christmas. And so she's like, you just talk about your Christmases. And I'm like, oh my God, that's like you wanted me to talk about like air. That's a lot. And so then I'm like, you know what? I'm going to do it. I'm going to do it. I'm just going to gather all my memories and how it was. And I just challenged Maria, can you please silence that dog?
Somebody's dog wants in on the action. It's okay. One time we actually had somebody calling from the beach, and they had seagulls behind them. So you're okay.
Okay.
So anyway, so they were all like in their 4th draft, and we rewrote it, and I'm just like, I have it in my head because, like, I've done stand-up comedy for forever. I mean, I'm a trained actor, but I've done stand-up comedy for years, and I'm just like, I'll just talk it out and I'll just say it. But once I started writing it, then Diana was like, okay, Kuka, you have too much now, too much. I had like, what did I have, Diana? Like 12 pages or something? I had a lot.
Well, how many pages, because now this is a 90-minute show, but I have to say it did not feel like 90 minutes. Each one went really quick.
Well, it's interesting because Sandra brings up a point, which is we all, with the theme in mind, started writing, and we all overwrote. When Maria remembers when I was reading her my earlier drafts, they were completely different from what we ended up at. But that's how these things are written. They are written by exploring and going there, and also then finding the arc of the story, because it would be stand-up if we were just like rattling off funny things,
right?
And the whole idea is that there has to be a message, and each one of us had to find our own message, which is great. We didn't start off with, I want to teach a story about gratitude. No, you start writing, and then you discover the story inside of your own stories. And so it was a wonderful process that I was very lucky that I had these 2 wonderful colleagues in, because we each helped each other shape. There's a little bit of Sandra and Maria in my monologue. There's a little bit of each of us in each other's monologues as we tweaked it. Sandra and I have a lot of stand-up experience, so really tweaking the funny moments. But it's all based on each person's personal truth, and that's what makes them so touching and special, because when you do stand-up, it's a rhythm. It's joke, joke, bigger joke, 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 right. Bigger joke. This is, life. This is the whole thing. The reason this is an ancient tradition to tell stories is that human beings just respond to it. It's one of the essential parts of being human is telling stories.
Yeah, I will say the response was amazing by the audience. We have to take a quick break, but we will keep you and talk with you on the other side of the break, because we have some more questions for you. We want you not to go anywhere if you're listening right now. In fact, go and follow us on the Hollywood Social Lounge on Facebook. You can also follow Sandra Valls at WeLoveSandra.com, Maria Russell at MariaAndRussell.com, and Diana Yanez at DianaYanez.com, or just go to the Latina Christmas Special on the website and go check that out. But stay tuned. We have more when we get back right here on the Hollywood Social Lounge.
Don't tell us how we should go on living now. Break the rules, let's tear it down.
Like to spend a few days in another world?
Welcome back to the Hollywood Social Lounge. I'm Aaron Michael Sanchez. You can follow me on Twitter at Aaron M. Sanchez. Tell us what you think about our show at any time. Also, go check out our new website, thehollywoodsociallounge.com. It's actually Hollywood Social Lounge. Don't put in the, even though you might want to. hollywoodsociallounge.com. Go check it out. We have on the line with us three amazing Latinas, and I love that they're doing this, the Latina Christmas Special, because it's really about three different Latinas, and Latina and Latino does not encompass just one type. We are so diverse, and all of your actual stories come from different sections, and it's interesting. I think one's from Florida, the other, can you tell me how you guys kind of, put that together and why it's called the Latina Christmas Special?
Okay, this is Diana again. Latina Christmas Special. The special in the title is an homage to all the Christmas specials we saw growing up. We all were. I basically, my babysitter was television, and I realizing now that all those people that I used to see on television weren't really representative of my culture or the culture of other Latinos, not just mine. I'm Cuban American, and I experienced the holidays in Miami. So, every time I saw a holiday special, there was no sun, there was no shorts, there was no chancletas.
Which is true. You don't think about that. Like, I didn't think, that's true. You don't have any snow in Florida.
No, at all. I
We're
didn't
still
see
dreaming
snow
of
until I
a
was an
white
adult.
Christmas.
What'd you say? So we had this, the special is because, this is a special that does represent a whole nother group of Americans. There's 33 million first-generation Americans, and you don't have to be Latino to enjoy this show. I think part of the charm of it is that it represents all of our childhoods in the 70s and the 80s, and how we saw Christmas through, Donnie and Marie's Perfect Little Utah Christmas TV shows. I was like, I never knew where Rudolph the Red-Nosed Reindeer actually lived. I was like, wow, that's really interesting, that cotton ball world.
Right.
We had nothing like that. We had that stuff as plastic ornaments on our front lawns in the 90-degree shade, but I think that's part of the joy, I think, of doing this show is trying to remind people that Christmas comes in many, many different colors and many different forms. You don't even have to believe in the original reason for Christmas. It's about an American holiday, basically.
Well, I like that actually, because, and that is so true. You don't have to believe in Christmas to go to see this, because it's really about the stories that you've each had growing up. And I think, Sandra, your story really touched home with me, and I'm just going to throw it out there. There's a moment where you talk about your mom, and it made me think of my parents, and I think that's where I connected, and I got a little sad, to be honest, but to hear your story, I felt like, oh my God, I know each of you more intimately than you probably would want me to know. It's like, that's the type of thing you don't share when you first, go out with somebody, but now you know everything about their life, it feels like. But Sandra, you really went in there and you brought some very emotional things to the front. How difficult or easy is that, doing time and again every day when you have a performance?
Are you asking me, Sandra?
Yes, Sandra.
It's not easy because it's real. I mean, sure, I've been in acting situations where you have to perform dramatic scenes over and over and over, but there's a certain detachment because you're playing a character, but this is me in my life talking about my mother and the stuff that went on. It's at the same time hard, but at the same time very cathartic and cleansing and healing for me, because I get to talk about it, and I get to heal as I talk about it, and so does the audience. I mean,
Right.
let's talk about the pink elephant in the room. Sometimes it's not what it's cracked up to be, but you know what? You get through it. You get through it, and at the other end, you're a better person for it. And I feel actually cleansed every time. I get scared every time, but I feel a little bit more healed every time I perform it. And so it's a beautiful thing that it's one with the audience, because they feel a little more healed in their life, because we all have stuff,
Yeah, you didn't hold back, that's for sure. And because of that, I really did feel it. And I thought, wow, I expected to laugh. I expected to have fun. I just didn't expect to go somewhere where, it was like, wow, that this is very intimate and very open. And I want to thank you for doing that, because, sometimes our parents, you say in there at one point, I forget the line, maybe you could help me, but it was, we don't expect to see our parents get sick.
Old and sick until they do.
Yeah. And that is like a moment, because I, for all intensive purposes, I'm an only child. I have a sister. She's got a mental disability as well. So I am a conservatorship of her, but then I have my mother to think about as well. And so when you put all that together, I said, wow, like it really made a lot of sense. And there was also a line where you said to celebrate. Oh God, it's a very key point. But you talk about the life and you celebrate. What was that line?
You can mourn the mother you used to have, or you can celebrate the mother you still have.
That right there was pivotal for me as well. Thankfully, my mom's fine, but there are moments where you wonder about what's going to happen, and you can't. You just have to live in the moment, and I appreciate that. Thank you so very much, Sandra, for opening up and sharing that in a performance like this, which is really raw.
Jeff.
I mean, thank you.
I have to thank Jeff for that because he's the one that pushed me to do that, and it was a combined effort. But Jeff really, his directorial vision, he said, "You got to go deeper," and I said no. And I kept saying no, and he said yes. So you have to. And then I just did it one day, right, Diana? It just kind of just came out. I said, okay, I'll write it, I'll do it, but, I guarantee you it won't work. And then it did work, and it was a big deal. But he helped me get there. So I have to give him some of the credit as well.
Wow, he did a fantastic job. And Maria, you've got a funny story, and at the same time, your mother, oh my goodness, what was her reaction when she saw this?
Well, when she first saw it, she was that person at the movie theater that was talking throughout the entire thing, commenting on the entire production. Like
she had her own dialogue, huh?
No, that's exaggerated. That's not true. Oh, no, that's not true. No. And then, when the part where the video comes on, she would literally have to get up and walk out of the theater because she's never seen that. It's still too early. 8 years later, she still can't see it.
Oh my goodness! Okay, and for those that, I don't want to give it away, but your mom gets so she really got upset about, really got upset.
Oh yeah, when we, at the, she can't see even the wedding video. She's like, I know, Maria, it's still too soon. I'm like, are you kidding me? It's 8 years, Mom. 8 years. So no, it's still very raw for her, But no, she's I'm my mother's child. She's who made me. My daddy too, and I feel so bad. But no, my dad too. But my mom was really, she was always there. I was her full-time job.
Yeah, absolutely. Well, I am so honored that I was one of the, and I say few because this has been sold out, I believe, for the last 3 years, but it's selling out even now. I think you guys have another week. What do we have to do to keep you guys in the theater? What would help?
Well, everybody talking about it on social media is really helpful, and they should follow us on Twitter and follow us on Facebook. Also, the theater needs to know. I mean, obviously they can see the ticket sales, but if they see that there's demand and this is the week to do it, they'll extend us. And if you're Latino, you know that we still have the Dia de los Reyes Magos, the 6th of January. So, like you said, Aaron, it's not necessarily, although it's Christmas themed, it's not about Christmas. It's about people. And if we can generate, people knowing about it, the more we talk about it, the more people know about it. Everybody that comes often comes back with other people, and that's amazing. We just needed to get to, we just want people to talk about it enough and mention it to the theater enough that we can get an extension. And then we'll be back next year, maybe in a bigger theater, and then we don't have to, people won't be fighting over the last remaining seats of our sold-out shows.
Well, what I would love to see is two things. One, yes, I would love to see that you get a bigger location, bigger theater for more seats. That's for sure. And what I'd like to see is maybe you guys be able to brand this Latina Christmas Special across the U.S. and be able to have a bunch of Latinas in all different areas kind of put their stories together. I don't know if you can make that work, but it would be interesting to see that and see that kind of go through the U.S. because this really could give a great thing. We're out of time for that segment, but I want to thank each of you, Sandra Valls, Maria Russell, Diana Yanes from the Latina Christmas Special. We're going to send all of our people that we have from the Hollywood Social Lounge over your way, and we wish you much continued success. Thank you so very much.
Thank you, Aaron.
Thank you for having us.
We love you. Happy holidays.